Donald Trump has gone silent. He is refusing to answer any questions from the press. This as Iran continues to escalate the pressure on him and Iranian leadership continues to taunt him. More on that in a moment. But Donald Trump landed in Ohio for a close to the press event, campaigning in order to try to continue to keep the people of Ohio down. Donald Trump landing on, I guess, Air Force One, Qatari Air Force One, it looks like. Here's what Donald Trump looked like as he was trying to go down the stairs. He struggled to use the umbrella. Let's take a look. Let's play it. Now, Donald Trump's entire schedule today was closed to the press. And again, this follows the blockbuster scoop by the Washington Post, how Donald Trump used the press as a decoy back on July 8th when he was leaving the NATO summit and he snuck out of the old Air Force One in a cafeteria container. Donald Trump has been called out today for how pathetic and weak he is for doing that. And he's been called out by Iran. Iran continues to taunt him as well. Let's look at the actions first of what's going on in the Middle East. Then I'll show you some of the words from Iran's leaders right now. But the world is on fire as a result of Donald Trump's weakness. We're seeing right now some strikes take place in Erbil, Iraq. A major fire is burning there right now. We've seen Iran strike certain pro-U.S. interests there. We've seen the U.S. utilize Iraqi bases to try to attack Iran. But take a look at what it looks like moments ago in Erbil, Iraq. Let's play it. Now, this also follows at least 2 Saudi tankers that were struck by the Iranian-backed Houthis today. Speaking about the Houthis, who also go by the name Ansar Allah, not only did they strike 2 Saudi Arabian tankers in the Bab el-Mandab Strait region, but Ansar Allah, the Houthis, they have announced that they are targeting Saudi Arabian gatherings, weapon depots, and command centers in the Al-Mocha area and the Tadouan camp in Marib province using ballistic missiles. They actually called upon people in the area to disperse and to leave. But you've got war raging right now in Yemen, war raging right now in Saudi Arabia, in Iraq, Iran striking tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, the whole area right now is absolutely on fire. You take a look, though, what's happening right now in Japan. The Japan Defense Ministry announced moments ago that North Korea just launched a major ballistic test right around Japan. An object that may be a ballistic missile has been launched from North Korea. The Japanese Ministry of Defense says they will be providing updates, but that's what's going on there. Explosions currently being heard in Damascus, Syria as well right now. And so the whole region right now is engulfed in this war. You saw earlier today Netanyahu pointing to a map of the Golan Heights, saying that this will always belong to Israel, never to Syria. And of course, Israel annexed it back in the late 1960s. And the UN and others have recognized that region as belonging to Syria, which is a major priority of the Syrian president right now, al-Shara. But again, you have never in recent history the level of instability we have there. And then also you have a Ukrainian drone swarm right now heading deep into Russia. And Zelensky has also announced that he believes Russia will be launching 50 ballistic missiles very soon in Ukraine. Now Ukraine does not have any interceptors to stop any of the ballistic missiles, and Ukraine has changed their policies where they're no longer publishing information about the ballistic missile strikes because they don't want it being known that the strikes are really, really crippling to Ukraine, and Ukraine is unable to defend because Donald Trump tapped Zelensky along, said he was going to give him these interceptors, and then never gave him any of the interceptors or even the interceptor licenses. Speaking of interceptors, a bombshell report from New York Times moments ago, how U.S. forces fired 50 Patriot interceptors in one single day in last month's Iranian counterstrikes on the U.S. base in Jordan. Recall that 3 U.S. service members were killed on a base in Jordan. One was killed in Erbil, Iraq, making the total killed in action at least 18 that we're aware of. We believe the number is more than that. Over 600 service members at least reported being injured. We believe that number here at the MeidasTouch Network to be closer to 2,000 to 3,000 as the Trump regime downplays it. But U.S. forces fired 58 Patriot interceptors in a single day. It's $4 million per interceptor, roughly $200 million in one day. And now Iran has developed course-changing missile technology as well that avoids and evades these interceptors. Iran continues to improve on its technology. Just to remind you, this is what it looked like in some of these videos of U.S. utilizing all of these interceptors as Iran's ballistics evaded them. I'll play you one, for example, in Bahrain back a month ago or so. Let's play it. Now, Iran's General Mohammad said, "We produce ballistic missiles at a rate exceeding the rate at which they are fired. In the field of drones as well, our production capacity is far greater than the rate at which they are deployed. Even if the war lasts for several years, our ballistic missiles will continue to rain down on the enemy." Meanwhile, an IRGC spokesperson just said, "If the threats against Iran occur, hundreds of thousands of miles of energy transmission lines, thousands of power plants, all American and non-American systems, even global infrastructure connected to the internet would be at risk." And Iran feels further emboldened again after the story of Donald Trump cowering in a cafeteria container in Turkey, hiding and fearing that Iran was going to strike Air Force One, which has the state-of-the-art defense capabilities on it. As Anthony Scaramucci, the Mooch, says, "This image of Trump in the catering cart is going to be hard to shake. You know he's livid that it got out. If he wasn't a coward, he would have told them, 'No chance I'm going in there. No way I am doing that.'" One open source intelligence count also asks, the question that needs to be answered is why the United States Air Force and the Secret Service determined that the old Air Force One was not safe for Donald Trump to fly out of Turkey on. That old Air Force One has a suite of highly capable defenses, able to contend with and even mitigate most surface threats, suggesting that the threat to the aircraft was substantial enough to warrant exposing an asset carrying out a mission for a program that is likely classified. State regime media sees how weak Donald Trump is. Brian Kilmeade moments ago said the following. Let's play it.
I made his monologue, if I could just preview that. So that was good to know.
Wow.
My point is this. I think we're going to end up in a kinetic war to finish this thing off before Labor Day, because the Iranians need to understand who the superpower is.
You want to switcheroo on the topic.
And now, as the price of crude ticks up close to and surpassing $90 a barrel, the Trump regime desperately needs to manipulate these oil prices. Energy Secretary Chris Wright just blatantly lies and moments ago posted the following. "Thanks to the coordinated efforts of the U.S. military and our Gulf allies, the 7-day average for oil leaving the Strait of Hormuz is currently up to almost 9 million barrels per day. when combined with the additional 5 to 7 million barrels per day, leaving the region via newly upgraded pipelines and export facilities, total oil flows are currently averaging approximately 15 million barrels per day. On Sunday alone, over 20 million barrels left the Arabian Gulf region, which is above the pre-conflict average. Folks, quite literally every word he says there is absolutely false. We can track this. We do track this here at the MeidasTouch Network. Take a look right here at the Hormuz tanker crossings. You can see that it's nowhere near where it was before this catastrophic war started. And even the most bullish estimates, I suppose, if you want to call it bullish, have it at 4 to 5 million barrels a day max compared to what was going on before this catastrophic war started. But it's probably far less than that, but it's just more market manipulation from the Trump regime taking place. And when Donald Trump feels weak and cornered like the rat he is, what does he do? He sends out more ICE and Border Patrol Gestapo to terrorize U.S. citizens and people living in our country like this. Let's play this clip.
Yeah, you recorded us. You almost ran us over.
I didn't almost
You almost ran us over.
You're
Stop
so
playing.
full of shit.
Stop playing.
You are full of shit.
All right? You're not funny.
You're not funny.
I will arrest you. Keep it up.
I'm a legal
Keep
citizen.
it up. I don't care.
Oh my goodness.
We have to lock you up.
Okay. For what?
The one that tried to run us over.
Run you over when? I got recording. I got dash cam. I got dash cam. That's a lie.
There you have it. Let me know what you think, folks. We're going to keep you apprised of all these breaking news developments. Appreciate you. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Before you go, our book, WTF America, is available for pre-order now. It's the story of how we got here and how we fight our way back. To pre-order, scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Let's do this.